Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual by Juggling. This book is dedicated to Mark Lee, Mike Mansour, and Ryan Job from SEAL Team 3 Task Unit Bruiser, who lived and fought and died as warriors. Part 1. Thoughts. The way of discipline. People look for the shortcut, the hack. And if you came here looking for that, you won't find it. The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. And if you want to take an easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. Stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, better. Free. To reach goals and overcome obstacles and be the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way. There's only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline. Discipline. There must be discipline. Discipline, the root of all good qualities, the driver of daily execution, the core principle that overcomes laziness and lethargy and excuses. Discipline defeats the infinite excuses that say, not today, not now, I need a rest, I'll do it tomorrow. What's the hack? How do you become stronger, smarter, faster, healthier? How do you become better? How do you achieve true freedom? There's only one way. The way of discipline. Why? Why? Over and over and over again, I'm asked, why? What drives me? When I was younger, I was preparing for war. I knew that somewhere out there, another man was also preparing you don't think you are disciplined, it is because you haven't decided to be disciplined yet. It is because you haven't created it yet. It is because you haven't become it yet. So where does it come from? It comes from you. So make the decision. Make the commitment. Become the discipline. Embrace its cold and relentless power. And it will make you better and stronger and smarter and faster and healthier than anything else. And most important, it will make you free. Overcome procrastination. When and where to start. People want to know how to stop laziness. They want to know how to stop procrastination. They have an idea in their head, maybe even a vision, but they don't know where to start. So they ask and they say, where do I start? When is the best time to start? And I have a simple answer. Here and now. That's it. You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet or start a new business? You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or an app? Where do you start? You start right here. When do you start? You start right now. You initiate action. You go. Here's the reality. That idea isn't going to execute itself. That book isn't going to write itself. Those weights out in the gym, they aren't going to move themselves. You have to do it. And you have to do it now. So stop thinking about it. Stop dreaming about it. Stop researching every aspect of it and reading all about it and debating the pros and cons of it. Start doing it. Take that first step and make it happen. Get after it. Here and now. The person you can control. People are not who you want them to be. Kill your idols. Sure, there are things we can learn from people, but people aren't going to be what you think they are, what they should be. People, even those people you have put up on a pedestal, are going to be faulted, weak, egomaniacal, condescending. They're going to be lazy, entitled, short-sighted. They will not be perfect. Far from it. And that's fine. Learn from their weaknesses. Of course, learn from their strengths and mimic and copy them in what they do well, but equally as important, learn from their faults. See what not to do. Because you can't control other people. You can't make them what you want them to be. You can't make them who you want them to be. The only person you can control is you. So focus on making yourself who you want to be. Faster, stronger, smarter, more humble, less ego. Discipline your body. Free your mind. Get up early and go. Get after it and you'll become the person. They think of people controlling the minds of other people. Not me. I think about controlling my own mind. Sure, we are physical beings, and we must obviously embrace our physicality, but we are our minds. And I'm not going to go your mind, the thing that is listening and comprehending these words right now, that is you. And you can control it. You are the machine and you can control it. People ask me, how do I get tougher? Be tougher. How can I wake up early in the morning? Wake up early. How can I work out consistently every day? Work out consistently every day. How can I stop eating sugar? Stop eating sugar. You can even control your emotions. People say, how can I stop missing that girl or guy or whoever broke up with me? Stop missing them. You have control over your mind. You just have to assert it. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Weakness doesn't get a vote. Laziness doesn't get a vote. Sadness doesn't get a vote. Frustration doesn't get a vote. Negativity doesn't get a vote. Your temper doesn't get a vote. So next time you are feeling weak or lazy or soft or emotional, tell those feelings they don't get a vote. You are declaring martial law on your mind, mind control. Impose what you want on your brain. Discipline, power, positivity, will. And use that mind control to move your life where you want it to be. Stronger, faster, smarter, quicker, friendlier, more helpful, more driven. And don't let your mind control you. Control your mind. And then you can set it free. Weakness. Do I have weakness? I am nothing but weakness. I'm not naturally strong or fast or flexible. I'm certainly not the smartest person in the world. I get emotional over stupid things. I eat the wrong foods. I don't sleep enough. I procrastinate and I waste time. I care too much about meaningless things and not enough about important things. My ego is too big. My mind is too small, often trapped inside itself. Now, all that being said, I have a saying. A person's strength is often their biggest weakness, but their weaknesses can become strengths. Me, I am weak. In all those ways, I am weak. But I don't accept that. I don't accept that I am what I am, and that is what I am doomed to be. No, I do not accept that. I'm fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scraping problems or stress you are experiencing, detach from them. Stress is generally caused by what you can't control. The worst thing about incoming artillery fire is you can't control it. It is happening, and you just have to accept it. Don't stress about things you can't control. If the stress is something that you can control and you are not, that is a lack of discipline and a lack of ownership. Get control of it. Impose your will and make it happen. Solve the problem. Relieve the stress. If the stress is something you can't control, embrace it. You can't control it, but how can you look at it from a different angle? How can you use it to your advantage? I couldn't control the chaos of combat. I had to embrace it. I had to figure out a way to take advantage of it. Make it into your ally. So, don't fight the stress, embrace it. Turn it on itself. Use it to make yourself sharper and more alert. Use it to make you think and learn and get better and smarter and more effective. Use the stress to make you a better you. Destroyer mode. Where does the switch come from? The overdrive. The berserker mode. The full-on destroyer that will not stop. I think this is something that is learned. And it is a hard lesson, and not everyone gets it. And it is an important lesson, a critical one. It is the thing that allows you to go the extra distance, to dig a little deeper, to push a little harder, to get after it. And it actually takes two opposing forces to bring it to life. It takes both emotion and logic to reach your maximum potential, to really give everything you have, to go beyond your limits. Because emotion and logic will both reach their limitations. And when one fails, you need to rely on the other. When it just doesn't make any logical sense to go on, that's when you use your emotion, your anger, your frustration, your fear to push further, to push you to say one thing: I don't stop. When your feelings are screaming that you've had enough, when you think you are going to break emotionally, override that emotion with concrete logic and willpower that says one thing: I don't stop. Fight weak emotions with the power of logic. Fight the weakness of logic with the power of emotion. And in the balance of those two, you will find the strength and the tenacity and the guts to say to yourself, I don't stop. Until the end. Something I saw in combat that I later tried to train out of people was the tendency to relax once the primary objective of a mission was complete. I tried to train that out of them because you can't relax until the entire mission is complete. In training, we always attack the platoons hard on their primary objective, but we always attack them even harder after they left the main target. Once the platoons were patrolling back to base, when their minds had already gone home and turned off, that's when we would bring it to them. Hit them from multiple angles with all kinds of mayhem. So they would develop the attitude and the muscle memory to keep going until the end. And even when they got back to base, we would retask them so that they had to begin playing again. It wouldn't stop. That's the mentality I wanted to instill in them. It is never finished. You always have more to do. Another mission, another task, another goal. And the enemy is always watching, waiting, looking for that moment of weakness, looking So don't be finished. Be starting. Be alert.
I'm
Be
videotaping.
ready. Be attacking.
Can we go shut that door?
Be relentless.
The kitchen door?
Let the enemy stop. Let the enemy
Thanks,
rest.
buddy. I appreciate
Let the
it.
enemy finish.
Love you.
You don't finish. Don't stop. Don't rest. Not until the enemy is completely destroyed. And even then, turn your focus inward on yourself and take the opportunity not to rest, but to make yourself better, faster, stronger, smarter. Because with those goals, nothing is ever finished. Application of discipline. Discipline starts with waking up early. It really does. But that is just the beginning. You absolutely have to apply it to things beyond waking up early. It is working out every day, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. It is eating the right foods to fuel your system correctly. It is disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It is about having the discipline to control your ego so it doesn't get out of hand and control you. It is about treating people the way you would want to be treated. It is about doing the tasks you don't want to do, but you know will help you. Discipline is about facing your fears so you can conquer them. Discipline means taking the hard road, the uphill road, to do what is right for you and for others. So often, the easy path calls us to be weak for that moment, to break down another time, to give in to desire and short-term gratification. Discipline will not allow that. Discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. It won't accept weakness. It won't tolerate a breakdown in will. Discipline can seem like your worst enemy, but in reality, it is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can. And it will put you on the path to strength and health and intelligence and happiness. And most important, discipline will put you on the path to freedom. Questions. Knowledge is a powerful tool. It is the master of your tools. It is where your tools come from, because without knowledge, there is nothing. Let's take that one step further. Knowledge is the ultimate weapon. It trumps all of the weapons. Thought is what wins. The mind is what wins. Knowledge is what wins. And you gain knowledge by asking questions. But which questions should you ask? Simple. Question everything. Don't accept anything as truth. Question it all. When you don't understand a word, get out the dictionary. When you don't understand a concept, break it down until you do. When you don't know how something works, dig in until you do. Ask every question that comes to mind. That is how you learn. And most important, question yourself. Question yourself every day. Ask yourself, who am I? What have I learned? What have I created? What forward progress have I made? Who have I helped? What am I doing to improve myself today to get better, faster, stronger, healthier, smarter? Is this what I want to be? This? Is this all I've got? Is this everything I can give? Is this going to be my life? Do I accept that? Ask yourself those questions, those hard questions, and then answer them truthfully. And realize that all of us yourself and find the path to progress and discipline and to freedom inside the answers. Fight. Go down swinging. And I'll tell you, if you fight with all you have, more often than not, you won't go down at all. You will win. But you have to make that attitude a part of your everyday life. Do the extra repetition. Run the extra mile. Go the extra round. Make the right choices. Give the full measure. Make yourself stronger, mentally and physically. Stand and fight. Fight against weakness, against fear, against time, and against decay. Fight back. Go down swinging. Give every day everything you've got. And when you face a challenge, even something you don't believe you can win, or a situation where you know you cannot win, remember this: you have nothing to lose. So, stand up. Go forward. Go out in a blaze of glory, fighting with everything you've got, every ounce of energy, every bead of sweat, every drop of blood, until your last breath. And then, and only then, can you stand down. Put down your sword and your shield and rest in peace. Compromise. When working with other people in dynamic situations and relationships and deals, a person, especially a leader, must compromise. Finding the common ground between teams, merging different approaches to the same problem, bridging personalities with people who might not get along, reaching agreements in courses of action. All of these require compromise. And in many cases, a failure to compromise is a failure to succeed. But those are external compromises with other people, other humans that have their own personalities and ethos and issues. And compromise is needed to unify. So to work with them, compromise is a must. But internally, it's different. With myself, I have to hold the line. There are areas within myself where I cannot compromise. I am going to work hard. I am going to train hard. I am going to improve myself. I am not going to rest on my laurels. I am going to own my mistakes and confront them. I am going to face my demons. I'm not going to give up or give out or give in. I am going to stand. I am going to maintain my self-discipline. And on those points, there will be no compromise. Not now, not ever. Default aggressive. Proactive and aggressive are similar, and they are both good. You certainly have to be proactive in the world. You want to be dictating what happens, not responding to it. And yes, that means creating or controlling a situation as much as you can. But being aggressive, that means you are ready to attack. As I always point out, this doesn't mean you walk around with your chest puffed out, ready to bang heads with everyone around you. It doesn't mean you confront people physically or mentally.
Gotta go out, Ollie. I'm
without
juggling,
tactically
okay?
superior plan. It doesn't mean you go
Love you,
straight
buddy.
forward into conflict without thought, without reason. It doesn't mean you engage in attrition warfare. No. That is almost never smart. What it does mean is that you are going to get after it. You are going to move fast. You are going to think fast. You are going to outthink and
releasing
outmaneuver
him.
the enemy. If I think the enemy is going to attack me, I'm going to attack them first. If I think they are going to seize a piece of terrain, I'm going to be there
Releasing
waiting
him.
for them. If I think the enemy is
Damn,
going to
videotaping
flank
too.
me too late, I'm already flanking them. don't view aggression as an outward attitude. I view aggression as an internal character trait. A fire in your mind that says, I am going to win. I'm going to battle, and I'm going to fight, and I'm going to use every tool I have to crush my enemy. And that tool might be fists, but it might be guile. It might be a frontal attack, but it might be a flanking maneuver. It might be an undeniable display of force, but it also might be a subtle political maneuver. And that is what aggression is to me, the unstoppable fighting spirit, the drive, the burning desire to achieve mission success using every possible tool, asset, and strategy and tactic to bring about victory. It is the will to win. And if that kind of internal, relentless aggression is your default mode, you will win. Nature versus nurture. What is more important? Nature or nurture? In my opinion, neither. I have seen people from every stratum of life. In the military, I work with every type of person. Ivy League kids with silver spoons, former gangbangers, hood rats, prep school kids, kids from blue-collar families, kids from strong families, and kids with no families, kids who were pampered, and kids who were abused, and everything in between. Everything. And in all those different types of people, there were good and bad, successful and unsuccessful. And in working with businesses, I see the same thing. People from every walk of life, from the bottom to the top. And I have seen every type of person be successful. So to me, it is not about nature or nurture. It is about choice. The people who are successful decide they are going to be successful. They make that choice. And they make other choices. They decide to study hard. They decide to work hard. They decide to be the first person to get to work and the last to go home. They decide they're going to take on the hard jobs, take on the challenges. They decide they're going to lead when no one else will. They choose who they are going to hang around, and they choose who they will emulate. They choose to become who they want to become. They aren't inhibited by nature or nurture. They overcome both. And I'll tell you something else. It is never too late to make that choice. You are never too old to decide where you are going to focus your efforts and push to make the most out of every situation. So, think not about what you've been through and where you were. Think about where you are going and choose. Choose to make yourself smarter and stronger and healthier. Choose to work out and study and eat good food and keep your mind clean. Don't let nature or nurture make you. Choose to make yourself. Fear of failure. Fear of failure can keep you from taking risk. It can leave you sitting there paralyzed into not taking action. And that is obviously bad. But I don't want you to overcome fear of failure. I want you to be afraid of failure. Fear of failure is good. Fear of failure will keep you up at night planning, rehearsing, going over contingencies. Fear of failure will keep you training hard. Fear of failure will stop you from cutting corners. Fear of failure will keep you working, thinking, striving, and relentlessly trying to be more prepared for battle. So I want you to be afraid of failing. I fear failure. But more important, I want you to be horrified, terrified of sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing. That is what I want you to be afraid of. Waking up in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 years or 60 years and being no closer to your goal. You've made no progress. That is the horror. That is the nightmare. That is what you really need to be afraid of, being stagnant. So, get up and go. Take the risk, take the gamble, take the first step, take action. And don't let another day slip by. The warpath. The path. The warpath. A path of war. The actual definition of warpath means moving toward a battle, a fight, toward war. And that is what I am doing, and what I have always been doing. Whether it was the actual war against our nation's enemies or the war against my own weaknesses, that is what I am doing. Preparing, sharpening my sword, honing my skills, maintaining the unmitigated daily discipline in all things. And the warpath is a path. It's a route. It leads somewhere. Where does it lead? Yes, it can lead to war, and that is fine, because I am ready. I am waiting. But the war might not come. And that is okay. Because the warpath is also a war against weakness. And so it leads to strength. It is a war against ignorance, and so it leads to knowledge. It is a war against confusion, and so it delivers understanding. And the warpath leads to control and to ownership of your life. That is the warpath. The path of fire and adversity. The path of blood and sweat and suffering. The warpath is the interminable path of discipline, which is why it leads to freedom. And beyond that, in the end, the warpath leads to peace. Sugar-coated lies. Yes, I know. I know those donuts are tempting. All those colorful sprinkles, the cream filling, the glaze, the glorious glaze. And on top of all that, they're free. Someone brought them in and just left them here, right in front of me. Surely this is some kind of sign, some kind of miracle, right? I mean, food is food, and if it's free, I pretty much need to eat it. It would be ungrateful for me to say no, right? Right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Those donuts are food. They are poison. Same with chocolate chip cookies, the double Dutch chocolate cake, the can of soda, the bag of potato chips, and the pretzel wrapped hot dogs. All that junk isn't food. It doesn't fuel you. It kills you. It literally kills you. It isn't going to make you stronger, faster, healthier, smarter, or better. It's going to do the opposite. And you know this. You know you do not need any of that junk. But it's the only choice. Wrong. Unless you have gone an extended period of time without food, you don't need to eat. And you definitely don't need to eat that poison. You don't need to eat. You don't even know what hungry is. Humans can go 30 days without food. You can make it. So when those foods are tempting you, calling your name, and enticing you you with their sugar-coated lies, get angry. Get aggressive. Stand your ground in the battle and fight by saying no. Hold the line. Hold the line for your health, your mental toughness, and exercise your will, which I promise is stronger than the will of a donut, if you want it to be. So hold the line. Bad instincts. There's one instinct you need to be wary of, one that you must fight. This one is a liar. This one is a saboteur, a backbiter, and like the devil himself, he's a shapeshifter. He will disguise himself, make you think that he has got your best interests in mind, but he doesn't. This is the instinct that says, you've had enough. You've given it your best shot. You can stand down. You can back off. You can take a knee. This is the instinct that says, you can rest now. Do not listen. Because that instinct is a liar and wants to bring you down. You see, this instinct is a defense mechanism for your ego. It gives you an out, a place to run to, a place of sympathy and amnesty where all can be forgiven. Where failures gather together in comfort and drown their sorrows in lies and deception. They tell each other, and they tell you, you did the best you could. And the deck was stacked against you, and it's not your fault. And so they tell you, it's okay to stop. It's okay to settle. It's okay to give up. And that is the instinct you need to fight, to push back, to smash into the ground. Do not take the easy way out. Do not give up based on instinct. If you are forced to stand down, to retreat so you can rebuild and reattack, so be it. But make that decision based on logic, not on the instinct of surrender and defeat. Destroy that instinct. Replace it with the instinct that says, get up, go, fight on. Make that your fundamental reaction to adversity. Make that your gut instinct, and you will overcome anything that stands in your path. Not feeling it. How do I handle those days when I'm just not feeling it? Those days when I'm tired or worn out or just sick of the grind? What do I do on those days? I go anyway. I get it done. Even if I'm just going through the motions, I go through the motions. Don't really want to work out? I work out. Don't really want to hammer on a project? I hammer on a project. Don't really want to get up and get out of bed? I get up and get out of bed. Now, these could be signals that you need some time off, and those signals might be right. But don't take today off. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights. Sprint the hill. Work on the projects. Get out of bed. I don't like procrastination, but if you feel like you need a break, that is the one thing you should procrastinate. Taking a break is the one thing I put off until tomorrow. And if, when tomorrow comes, you still feel like you need a rest or you need to take a break, then go ahead. Take it. Chances are you won't. You won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the downward path. And by going through the motions, you overcame that weakness. You stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path. You stayed on the war path. Right where you know there, so much information, so many ways to get better. And we make so many mistakes. We are the product of our mistakes. And oftentimes the lesson is sitting in front of our face, there to be learned. But we miss it. Or we don't pay attention to it. Or we think we know better until it punches us in the face. The most important thing to learn is that we have so much to learn. We all do. And we can learn from school and people and experience and life. But you have to process the information, absorb it. You have to accept it. You have to open your mind, free your mind, so that you can learn and make real progress. Are there things I regret and things I wish I had done differently? Of course. Hindsight is 20/20, and looking back, who wouldn't want to take another go at something and improve it by doing it again? And then why not do it again and again and again? Who wouldn't want to do things over until you have it perfect? But the fact is, you don't get that chance. You get one shot. We get one shot at this gig right here, life. One life, that's all we've got. And the most important thing to understand about regret is that in and of itself, regret is worthless. It does nothing for you. In fact, the only valuable thing in regret is the lesson you learned, the knowledge you gained. But walking around filled with regret gets you nothing. So, learn and move on. Don't let regret beat you down. Don't be a slave to regret. No. Let it teach you. Let it make you better. Let the fear of regret fuel you to take action today, now. Take action to become a person not filled with regret, but a person filled with knowledge and strength and power and life. Focus. In combat, focus comes pretty easily because the battle is right in front of your face. You have no choice but to focus. But sometimes, in day-to-day life, you can lose track of the long-term goal. It fades from your vision. It slips from your mind. Wrong. I want that long-term goal to be so embedded in my mind that I never lose sight of it. Ever. And the little tasks and projects and short-term goals that you tackle need to lead towards strategic victory, winning the long war. But we want results now. We want the shortcut to the winner's podium. We need instant gratification. And when we don't get the short-term glory, sometimes we lose sight of those long-term goals. They fade. We lose focus. So we stop the daily tasks and the daily disciplines that will allow us to achieve our goals. Then a day slips by. And then another day. Then a day turns into a week, and a week into a year, and you look up in 6 weeks, or 6 months, or 6 years, and you've made no progress. None. You never moved. In fact, you might be even further from your goal than you were when you started. You might have gone backward. Why? Why did you let that happen? Because you lost sight of it. You lost sight of the long-term goal, and it faded. It faded from memory, and the passion dried up, and you began to rationalize. Maybe I can't. Maybe I don't really want to. Maybe this goal isn't for me. And so you give up. You let it go. And you settle. You settle for the status quo. You settle for the easy road. You settle for a well. Write about it. Talk about it. Hang it up on your wall. But most important, do something about it. Every day. Every day, do something that moves you toward that goal, that keeps that goal alive and in sight and in focus. However small or insignificant that step might seem, take it. Do it. Make it happen. Because that goal isn't going to achieve itself. It is all on you. Hesitation. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. That is Brutus from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, who in the play is plotting to kill Caesar, someone he was loyal to. And Shakespeare, the master of understanding human nature, captures what that feels like. This is how Shakespeare's words would translate today. Between the acting of a dreadful thing, between the moment when you are waiting to do something that you don't want to do, and the first motion, and the moment when you initiate the action, all the interim, the whole time you are waiting to take that action, is like a phantasma or a hideous dream, is like an evil specter, an apparition, a nightmare. So the battle, the struggle, the hesitation takes place in that moment. That moment when we must step into the unknown. That moment filled with fear and horror. And that fear is what causes hesitation, and hesitation causes defeat. Hesitation is the enemy. Hesitation allows the moment to pass, the opportunity to be lost, the enemy to get the upper hand. Hesitation turns into cowardice. It stops us from moving forward, from taking initiative, from executing what we know we must. Hesitation defeats us. So we must defeat it. To win, all you have to do is overcome that moment, the waiting, the hesitation. And to do that, all you have to do is go. Move. Take the action. Get out of bed. Get your feet on the ground. Step forward. Do not hesitate. Do not wait. Go forward and win. Draw fire. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. I don't know why. Life is not fair. And that is the reality. Disease and accidents don't care if their victim is a good person. They have no reason, no justification, and no mercy. And even the best person you know can end up in the clutches of evil, and you cannot stop it. So, what do? Are you going to get angry, frustrated? Are you going to lash out at people? Who are you going to lash out at? Are you going to start going down the spiral of negativity? Are you going to let the horrible situation dictate the way you feel and the way you handle it? Are you going to fall over, fall down, fall apart? Or are you going to
There
lead?
it is.
Are you going to face this issue with courage and resolution? I say lead. Lead. Step up. Be the one who people look to. Absorb the impact and the negativity. Draw fire. Yes, draw
That's a pretty good
fire.
run, wasn't it?
That's what